Hello and welcome to Bending, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your haggling, bartering hosts. Joining me, as always, is our other haggling and bartering host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
I have so much to share.
I think
But
I
I'm
do too.
gonna okay. Can we talk about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, did you watch the fight?
No, I didn't watch the fight. No,
I
fuck that
totally
noise.
did.
Did you?
Well, it's like we always watch the fights. As
Yeah, fair enough.
my dad was a boxer, so we always watch the
Oh, I think
fights
I
and
knew
like,
that. Hmm.
oh yeah. So like I saw like live when it was happening, the Holyfield Tyson fight where he bit his ears
Ooh,
off.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So uh it's just and like Mike Tyson's Punch Out on the original
Yep.
NES and like all these it's just he's such a part of American um
Culture, fabric.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he was in The Hangover and he's got the tattoo on his face and like pioneered that. Now everyone's got tattoos on their faces. And like granted, he's got skeletons in his closet that we all know about
Yep.
and but it was just like I just wanted the kids to see like a fighter and boxing and like I so for those who don't know, Tyson did not win
Yep.
and Jake Paul did. And so I've been doing like a hemorrhaging deep dive into Jake Paul's life and trying to
Oh
figure out
no.
like was it fixed?
Yeah. There's a
Do
lot of
they
suspicion that it was.
Yeah, do they know each other? How did this even happen? Um, and I have some thoughts, but
It was quite so like I mean like I think he's Jake Paul's is absolutely a fucking garbage person, like basically in terms of my experience of him.
mhm.
Um but like there's certain things about him that it's like genuinely like he has been wrestling for a number of years as well, and he's genuinely a good wrestler, and it stalks how good a wrestler he is because like he is such a douchebag. But
He's doing UFC,
yeah,
wrestling, and boxing.
yeah,
And he's only been doing this for like 3 years,
yeah,
and he keeps winning all of his fights.
yes.
He's lost one fight.
But like I
Lost
don't
one
think he's
match.
fought anybody like at his age at a legitimate level, really, has he? I think like it's only been like UFC fighters, or he fought Conor McGregor, who is a MMA fighter in like a boxing match or something like that, wasn't it? So like I think his fights are like more like showcases than legitimate contests, would be my opinion.
It's so I don't really know the rules of like middleweight or lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight boxing, or like I don't know the progression. I don't know if you can just challenge somebody. I don't really know because it's part sport, but also part like show
Show it is
business.
so true.
Yeah. So I'm unclear on that, but he's actually fighting fighters and
Yeah.
like people that, actual boxers, actual MMA fighters and like I've been watching and reading and like he's really good at what he does.
Yeah. That is
And
true.
as infuriating as that is, and I
Yes.
think it's like he keeps being I'm like totally I'm sorry everyone, but I'm like raising the roof for Jake Paul
Oh wow,
because
okay.
he did. He went from like, sorry, what's happening?
It's all
It
right.
must be like Christmas and nothing is working in my
Sure.
brain.
Yeah.
Um, but like he he went from a YouTuber, he's done it with YouTube, and he's put all of his time and effort and money into like really trying to do this. And, what do I do once I'm done with YouTube? And he didn't really have any direction, was like, maybe I'll try this out. And like all of his trainers and even his opponents are just like, you're really good at this. This is something you can do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
Yeah.
he and his brother are living in Puerto Rico because there's like the rumors are that they traffic guns and women. So
Cool.
there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, like
Cool
it
guy.
it really wouldn't surprise me.
I
Um,
know.
because like one of the things my friend sent me this because we were chatting about it, and so like in his wrestling thing, like he's a heel ostensibly, so we don't know whether you remember like heels or bad guys,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
But he does that purpose. He
he does,
recognizes that no one likes him and he plays into that.
yeah,
And I think, you know, he even said, even if I beat Mike Tyson, everyone's going to say that
it was
that
rigged.
won't matter. That won't
Yeah, it's
matter.
that's a good point. Yeah, I mean
If
that's
I
I
beat him or don't beat him, it doesn't matter because no one will like me or no one will like give me any respect over this.
That's interesting level of insight. A surprising level of insight,
Hmm.
honestly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but like,
Anyways.
so he was on a podcast and talking to so Rey Mysterio's son is not Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero's son. Apologies. Dom is a wrestler now, and he's a heel,
Mhm.
and he's been this great heel for ages. And he was like on a podcast with Jake Paul talking about a trip to Japan that WWE had taken, and was like, "Have you? Why weren't you there?" And like knowing full well why he wasn't there, because like he's upset. He's like essentially banned from Japan for like shit he pulled. I don't know if
Oh
you know
yeah,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah. I do.
Uh,
The Suicide Forest.
Yes. And it really got under his skin and it was awesome. He and like just like it was like a real interview as such, but like he was like Dom Guerrero was fully doing a heel move and like really kind of prodding him, and I was like, oh, this rocks. I've never seen this happen before. So yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, a suicide there's a forest in Japan where a lot of people will go and commit suicide.
Mhm.
It's a really awful way to break it down, but that's and Jake
That's
Paul basically went there to find a dead body,
yeah,
and he did, and then he put it on YouTube, and everyone's like, "That's so disrespectful."
yeah.
And it was either him or his brother, I can't remember,
I
but
think
they're
it was
like
him.
so tied together.
Yeah, I always struggle to separate the two of them, you
Yeah,
know.
I never really was, I didn't know anything about them at all until the fight. So
Oh,
I
okay.
just kind of pushed that away. So now I'm like,
That's
I
yeah.
again, I'm 3 or 4 years behind everyone in anything. Okay, the other thing is I went to New York City.
Ooh.
I did, and I saw Oh Mary.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Uh-huh.
The Book of Mormon, and I saw McNeil starring Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh. Oh, you were talking about that?
Yes.
Nice.
And so I was 5 feet away from Robert Downey Jr.
Hell
We
yeah.
were like, I could have spit on him and shared germs.
Nice. I mean, like I got
Mm.
COVID from Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
I love it. That was awesome.
yeah.
What was your favorite of the three?
I can't say because they're
Okay.
so different.
But they were all
Oh,
enjoyable
Mary was,
experiences.
it was so, they were, yeah,
Okay.
amazing. And I guess like at any time, there's about 40 to 50 Broadway shows going on.
Hmm.
So it's like I could have spent, a month there. Like the new Back to the Future, they've got Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I just love Broadway. So,
I love it. Yeah, it's great to be there. And it's nice to, and also Beth sent me a video from
mhm.
what was it called?
The Stardust Diner, that
Yeah.
was breakfast.
Was it
We were eating
really?
eggs. Yeah.
So we talked about it, I think, the podcast before, but it's essentially a diner, I'd say, filled with actors and singers who work there as wait staff, and they burst into song every now and again. So Beth sent me a video of it, and I was like, "This is where I need to work whenever I move to America."
Yeah, it's like literally like a guy standing on the tables and he's wearing
Uh-huh.
sunglasses and he's singing New York, New York, and there's confetti cannons going off and like
So
a
good,
disco ball.
my dream. Um,
Yeah.
I love it, incredible.
Yeah.
Uh, that's yeah, good
How about
times.
you?
Um, Yeah, so like as you probably guessed, so because I'm gonna do something similar to what Beth did here. We haven't talked to each other in a while, so
No, I know. We gotta, it's like this is
it's like,
catch up.
"Ugh,
Catch up. I know. And
so
this and
excited.
this.
Um, so okay,
Whew,
what I
thanks for
did, so
that.
what I've done. So okay, right, okay. What's crack is with me is that I want to see Idols. Have you heard of
Mm.
Idols? Do you know who they are? So they're definitely a British band, but I know that they've
The
had
idols or idols?
Idols is in IDLES.
Huh.
So So they are a definitely they're a British band. I know they've got some traction in the US. I don't know how big they are, but they are like very much a you know, bunch of, left wing, woke cocks, et cetera, et cetera. They're so like
Woke
lots of
what?
cocks, like a
What's
cuckold.
a
Oh
oh,
God. Yeah, so
that
like
means
that's
something
been
different here, maybe.
no, it means exactly the same thing, but it is often
Okay.
used as a slight against, kind of like how soft left-wing guys are that they would let their wives be cocked in front of them. So yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
anyway.
All right. All right.
So anyway, they have like a song about immigrants and how lovely they are and things like that, and there was a chant halfway through, like a ceasefire now chant halfway through about Israel and stuff like that, just to show you where they are politically.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, and also to kind of just so like they were fantastic because it was like the first show I've been to in a while. The energy was fantastic. There was a Belfast band on before them I'd never heard before. They were also great. Just a really lovely night, and I saw lots of people that I knew. Great to be out for a gig because I haven't been to one for ages. So the final thing, just to say completely to set up what sort of band they are, I got a band t-shirt, said Idols along the top. It had a picture of a tiger leaping forwards with a lightning bolt behind it. And below it, it said Idols Hard Rock for Pussies. And I'm like, perfect. Almost my perfect concert t-shirt.
Uh-huh.
So
Did you buy it?
of course I bought it. Yeah, I should have worn it tonight. I'll wear it next time. So yeah, that was fantastic. I also did so if it's already Christmas dinner season, so I went to my first Christmas dinner, which was nice. I was talking to Beth a little bit about this post pod. It was nice, but I'm also kind of like where I'm already starting to feel the SAD as we discussed last week. And it was a bit of an overwhelming social experience I found, but it was still very nice. And it was good to like, it's good to get talking to people that you would never normally talk to because in yoga, all too often, it's rare. Well, not entirely rare, but it is rare you actually get talking to people. But it was nice and it was good. And the food was excellent as well, which makes a big difference. Um, I then following night, so you know the way like I don't really like guy shit for the most part, right? Common,
Hmm.
but like whether I don't know whether you know this about me, but I love a martial arts film and like a good one anyway. And one of my favorites is a movie called The Raid. It's about, geez, I think at least 12, 13 years old now. Um, it's brutal. It's like a hard R. It's like, but it's just like a 90-minute long movie, immaculately put together. Fight choreography is like second to none. The kind of story clips along it's so quickly. It's and really well like edited and music's fantastic. So it was being shown. I've been thinking about this film recently, and it was being shown as part of this like series in this art house cinema that I go to. And ahead of time, like I wanted to see it anyway, but ahead of time they were advertising that they were going to do a live combat simulation beforehand, and I was like,
Oh my gosh.
I need to see this. I don't know
Hmm.
what this is. I need to see it. And it was basically just two guys who advised movies on like stunts and things like that, and them doing like a um how to describe it? I guess like a sort of play fight is makes me sound like I'm demeaning it, but it was kind of just like if this was in a movie, we threw together this fight, and it was more fun than I was expecting it to be, but it lasted 30 seconds to maybe a minute. And it was just like
They're
a
like,
load
we
of
don't
people.
actually want to hurt each other.
No, it's just a load of people standing around with their arms crossed going, oh, okay. But yeah, but just a wonderful. If anybody likes martial arts movies and hasn't seen The Raid, I strongly recommend it. It is a very good time, though a very violent movie, I would say, but it's one of my favorites.
I
So yeah.
would say like my t top two
Hmm.
for like not guilty pleasure, but just like the ones I like. The Last Dragon
Sure.
and Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle rocks. Yeah, I love that movie.
The kids like that one. I haven't
Yeah, it's
shown
great.
them The Last Dragon yet.
There's
With
there's also
show
like
enough.
yeah, I can yeah. And there's also like Shadow and Soccer and stuff like that by the same director as did. But yeah, yeah, you know that it's great fun that one though. But yeah, so I think that's everything from What's the
I'm
Crack. Do you have any occurring?
I'm going to Mexico
Ooh,
tomorrow.
nice. For how long?
4 days.
Okay.
So first time we're gonna like where I dropped you at the
Mm-hmm.
border, we're driving across that.
Nice.
And then so we're going like 2 hours south to this little town called Ensenada,
Uh-huh.
which is the home of the margarita.
Ooh,
I know. So I guess I'll be drinking some tequila.
you got to.
I gotta.
I mean, I
Like you
wasn't.
know me and like food and uh famous food. Like I'm trying to convince you to go to the Caesar salad restaurant
Yeah.
in Tijuana, and you're like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe he's not doing
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I need to
this.
go.
I'm gonna go, and then I'll send you a picture, and you'll be like,
Okay, please
"Oh,
do.
that looks amazing."
I mean, like, I really thought I wasn't going to drink any tequila when I was in Mexico because I'm not the
Right?
biggest fan of it. But then, like, I found out how good it was, and I was like, oh shit, yeah. Had
Yeah.
I had I not been getting back the way I got back, I would have brought a bottle with me because
Hmm.
it was fantastic.
Hmm.
But yeah, that'll be awesome. Oh,
Occurring, I do have something occurring.
okay, go for it.
I just want to thank the folks that rated us on Apple Podcasts,
Hmm.
and if anybody else would like to do that, that would be awesome. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a slight update from a recent-ish episode. So.
Okay.
My sister informed me that at sleepovers she did stiff as a board, light as a feather.
Okay, good.
So it is something that we do over here. It's just not something that, macho guys like myself would have done.
Right, right. Yeah, okay. So
And
it's,
there
I
you
think that's interesting that it's like more gender related.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I,
won't even
I
tell you the rumors of what little boys or boys do
oh
at
God.
sleepovers.
Yeah, no, that's not good there. It's not that kind of show, right?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, so all right, so shall we get on to our topic for this week?
I think we should.
I've just called it Black Friday, which is like I think fine, but like
Yeah.
we may update that, so you may see a different title whenever you see it. But like it, because I don't want to dance around what it's actually about because I think it's an interesting that the very concept of it is interesting in and of itself.
Yeah. So I did a little surface dive
Hmm.
about the history of Black Friday.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. This is a
So, because
good
I was
place to
like,
start.
where does this come from? Where did it start? Where did it originate? Basically, it's okay. You know how I'm always like, I wish America would invent things.
Yeah.
Well, we invented Black Friday.
Okay, nice. Yep.
You're
Hmm.
welcome, world. So, 1951
Hmm.
was the first known use of Black Friday as being so we have Thanksgiving here.
Yes.
Thanksgiving is basically the way I was taught in school was that it was a day when we thank the Pilgrims and the Native Americans for coming together and having a feast. And now that story is very different just based on the fact that
Yep.
people did their research and figured out that no, we killed most of the Native Americans with smallpox.
Yep.
So, but it's what it's morphed into is everyone eats this sort of preset meal that involves the turkey and usually like green bean casserole and then like cranberries in a can. And
Hmm.
then everyone watches football.
Hmm.
Yay. And then the day after, like it's open season on Christmas. So like what you were saying where like your Christmas parties have started, that doesn't happen here until the day after
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Okay, so basically Black Friday in the 50s was referring to the fact that like so many people would call in sick the day after Thanksgiving so that they could have a 4-day weekend.
Love it.
Um, and then around the same time, the terms Black Friday and Black Saturday came to be used by the police in Philadelphia and Rochester to describe the crowds and the traffic congestion that started with the Christmas shopping season.
I see.
And then in the 80s, retailers were like, oh, marketing, we could use this because
Yes.
because basically like the way that their bookkeeping and profits work, they're operating in a loss all the way up until holiday shopping starts, and then that's when they make all their profit for the whole year.
Yeah.
So that sucks, obviously, because then it means that um we all get thousands of emails and texts about Black Friday. So so yeah, so basically they're no businesses are no longer in the red, they're in the black. Get it?
Yeah. I
Um
see. That's another.
and
Yeah.
then it actually like it start well, we can get into like when it starts, but like yeah, most people have Friday off and Black Friday technically begins Thursday night at midnight.
Uh, oh, okay. So wait.
Yeah.
So okay. So I have a few questions. Are you finished? Because I have a few
Yes.
questions. Okay.
That's the history. Okay.
So I love it. Thank you so much. That was great.
You're welcome. Mhm.
So is Thanksgiving always on a Thursday?
Yes.
Okay. So how does it? It's just the last Thursday of November, is it?
Yep.
Okay. That makes sense. I don't think I
Yep.
knew that. So it's not a fixed date like Christmas, for example.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Um.
always the last Thursday, and you all like schools are out for that week, and most people have that Friday off,
Yes.
you know. Not everyone, obviously,
Yes.
retailers, but most people have that
Okay.
4-day
So
weekend.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. So that yeah, that kind of like I suppose it's like the relationship maybe traditionally I don't know of actually I'm talking bollocks, but I'll still continue on with this thought of like Christmas Day and Boxing Day in this country where it was like Christmas Day was like the celebration thing and Boxing Day was like about gifts and stuff. But I think it was more about giving gifts rather than buying gifts. So the analogy kind of holds up, right?
Right.
Well, give me a pass. Also, the other question I had was green bean casserole. What's in it exactly?
Cream of mushroom soup, green
Okay.
beans, and then you guys have French's onions.
Oh, crispy ones?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And then you
okay.
pour those on top, you stick it in the oven and warm it up.
Just
So
good
it's
as
like
hell.
probably from the 1950s when, you know, 60s
It sounds
when
good as
they
hell.
were like, women, you can have it all
Yeah.
by using Campbell's condensed cream of mushroom soup
Okay.
for
I
all your
like it.
dinners. Yeah.
Um, the other one that I was always really liked the idea of it just speaks to my child tastes is candied yams or
Yeah.
because like literally the ones I think of are in one of the Spider-Man movies, which is like they've got like marshmallows and stuff on them. Is that right?
Yep. 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 So you put it's like candied yams. So it's like yams with I don't know.
Like honey
There's like
or
a way to do it. Some cinnamon and something butter,
okay.
butter, and butter. And then yeah, you put marshmallows on it, you put it in the oven, melt
Hmm.
it, warm it, and then yeah, you eat it.
That's a right. Is that served as a side with turkey and stuff? That's to be on the plate with
Yeah.
wow.
Stuffing, which goes in the turkey
Sure.
up its butt.
Oh
It's
yeah.
really appetizing. Then you open the butt and then you scoop it out and then
Sure. Yeah.
you put it on your plate.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Great.
Next time you come, maybe we'll make a Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be curious. I must
Yeah.
say.
I
I
mean,
do.
we don't do Thanksgiving
Yeah.
in my family. We like I grew up doing Thanksgiving, but like no one in our house likes turkey.
Yeah.
So then it just became, well, what do you guys want to eat? The kids are like tacos, meatloaf, like so. Yeah.
I love it. That's the
Usually
right
we just have tacos.
correct the
And this
correct
year I'm
answer.
definitely having tacos, so I won't
Hell
even be in
yeah.
the country.
Um.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
Black Friday.
yeah. So um. I was because it's some of the things that I feel like it was something that we were aware of in this country, but it wasn't really a thing here. And I think it was only with the kind of advent of Amazon becoming so big and Black Friday becoming almost like an international thing that it started becoming a bigger deal. So like, so then it became a point where actual legitimate UK companies would have Black Friday deals and have done for it's got to be like between 10 20 years now, I'd say that like I'd say within the last 10 years it has become quite a big deal in that you see a lot of advertising for it and all over the place. But I'd say it was like trickling in over before that. But here's something that you might find interesting. And there were people in this country who would build a holiday to the US around Black Friday, right? Yeah. So like they would buy tickets to go out and shop basically in New York or like somewhere like that for, right?
I'm so sorry.
Is that scandalizing? But I was like, whoa, okay. So like literally, and I kind of always kind of, I mean, like I knew the people, some of the people that did that, and it was like that is the least appealing sound. Like I thought, I couldn't imagine a holiday I would want less than going somewhere to shop. To be perfectly honest with you, but some people love shopping, So like, and I guess. I don't think it's as much a case now. It's something I want to talk about where, the deals were incredible for a time. You could legitimately get great deals. So I can kind of understand that if shopping's important to you.
But like if
But
you're paying for hotels and flying somewhere, like I don't
I know, I know. And I suppose they're going for the experience as well. And again, I know some people actually legitimately get kicks out of being in another country and shopping in another country. But like, again, to me, it's kind of like, I can shop anywhere. I don't need, if I'm in a different country, I want to do something that I can only do in that country if possible, to be honest with you, rather than, you know, going to a shop.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not a big shopper either, but I will say like because I've worked in retail for Black Friday, which we'll get into, um like experiencing Black Friday in America it is a thing.
yeah,
It is an experience.
I,
Whether
because
it's a
like,
good or bad experience is another part of our
because
discussion.
certainly what our awareness of it, like, I mean, like, I remember seeing, like, I mean, you see a lot of like news stories of like people losing their fucking
I
minds
tried
over
to
like,
find some headlines.
yeah, as did I. Like, I remember
And it's
seeing
all
that,
like, fight in blank city over blank toy. And like,
yeah,
police were called. And basically, yeah.
that's like, yeah, because like I remember like ones where they had maybe 10, 20 TVs that were, $20 or whatever, and people were like, the fighting that would be involved to get these
Yes.
TVs, and it
Yes.
was wild.
Yes.
It kind of, I don't know why it made me think of it. The fighting was yeah, I'm sure you know the Florida Man concept,
Oh, yeah.
and you
There's
can
a
do it.
show now called Florida Man.
Wow, really?
Mm.
But the search you can do where you type in your birthday and Florida Man, and there's like normally a headline from your birthday. That's so good. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Um, but so do you think within sort of your lifetime and your knowledge of it, there was a time when it was actually like uh good and actually a good time, legitimately good time to shop, or has it always been a fairly sort of, cynical kind of grab for people's money?
I have a friend that I went to like middle school with, and like I know that she goes every year with her mom. It's like their
Hmm.
thing. They have Thanksgiving and then they're like in line at 3 in the morning, and it's their thing that they love to do together. So I don't want to like that's part of the experience, right? It's like you get to hang out unless
Yes.
you're, a psycho and you like to do these things by yourself. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like there's camaraderie in it. Everyone's in line, they're
It's true.
excited. We wouldn't make fun of someone like in line at 3 in the morning to get tickets for Star Wars because that's
Absolutely.
cool. That's something that's really cool. But
Yes.
um, but like it's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I did so I worked at a toy store in the mall in college
Hmm.
for like 3 weeks. And I quit after Black Friday because it was the year of Tickle Me Elmo and the Razor Scooter when those
Oh
just came out.
no.
And no one could get them. And it was like before Amazon. So it's like you had to physically go somewhere to get the thing. Um, so we had to show up at 3 in the morning. We opened the doors at 4. And it was like my job to stand there and hand out those big black lawn trash bags.
So people could like
Uh,
shop with them?
Shop with them, yeah, shove things in the giant bags. And it was like people were yelling, pushing. it was like we opened the doors and they like ran into the store and were just like grabbing as much as they could as fast as possible. And I was just like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
happening around me right now?
So would there be a mass of people waiting at 4 a.m. to go, geez, well,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. No, we had like the ropes and
Yeah.
stanchions, like directing
They would just be,
people.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say we had a line of probably like 150 people before the doors opened.
that's wild.
Yeah. And I guess like I think in terms of like that type of activity, it happens every year.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit less because more people can shop online.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, so I'm gonna go in a little bit. I watched this documentary. It's called Buy Now, The Shopping Conspiracy, and they're
Okay.
just talking about like basically um how much Amazon basically because um Amazon has created their whole model around being there when you decide to buy an item, they
Yeah.
want to be there, right? So you're like, oh, I need, you know, uh, boy, I need a new pillow. This one
Oh,
sucks, right? And they're
yeah.
there because they're on your phone and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to order a pillow. Who am I going to order it from? I'm going to order it from Amazon. So, um, it's kind of that concept of like getting whatever you want whenever you want it,
Yeah.
which is driving our consumption.
Yeah.
And so everything around Black Friday, it's like no one really cares if they're getting a deal anymore. They want to tap that button and get that thing and get that
Yeah.
feeling that you get when you buy something. And you're
That
like,
hit.
Sure, yeah. Because I get it. I
Yeah.
totally do. I get that hit and I'm
Absolutely.
like, and it's like I get a little high because I know I don't have to go to like the store and go
Yeah,
out in
that's the
public.
best. Yeah.
I
Oh,
know
yeah.
it feels so good. Um, so yeah, I guess like there's the good and bad where you get the social interaction but you don't really anymore, or maybe you get a deal but you don't really anymore. So I think it's sort of like becoming just this day where you just buy shit,
Yeah.
whether or not you get a deal on it. I don't think it matters to people.
I think that's true. And yeah, like, because, certainly in terms of, and these were always in limited supply, but in terms of like my visibility of genuine deals, I just don't see them anymore. Like you'll see like slight
No.
reductions and like, some of the stuff. And I've had a few things that I've been thinking about buying. I've been kind of sitting, waiting to see if things would come down in price. And then it's like, oh, Black Friday, 5% off. And I'm like, oh, whoa, holy shit, guys, what an
Yeah,
incredible day. Like,
right.
like I find it quite good if I'm looking for inspiration for people to like buy things, to like go through deals and like see if there's anything that catches my eye or like I have knowledge of that's like, oh, that would be a good fit for this person. Like look at different categories. But yeah, by and large, it's like I think it's exactly what you were talking about the fact that for a long time shops had to wait until Christmas season before they started making any money. And it's like, well, how do we move that forward a wee bit? How do we
Yeah,
start making this
yeah,
money
yeah.
ASAP? And like,
And I think that's
yeah,
that's why that's probably why you're attending Christmas parties now.
yeah,
It's
it's true.
because they're like it's already being pumped in, it's Christmas season, which happened probably before Halloween because it did
Yeah,
here.
it did. There was definitely Christmas stuff on shelves before Halloween, I would say. And like as soon as Halloween is over in this country, it's essentially you're kicking into Christmas season. It's starting,
Mhm. So it's like
um
that's a long
like 2
time.
months basically,
Yeah.
which is nuts. Nuts.
Mhm.
Um
So
yeah.
so do you get a lot of advertisements for Black Friday?
Yes, but okay, I'm not the best person for it because I don't really see adverts anymore. Like I go out of my way to avoid them. Literally, the only adverts I see these days are on YouTube, and I definitely have seen some Black Friday ads there. But like to the extent that my the cinema that I go to is 5 maybe 10 minutes from my house. So if I'm going to the cinema these days, the cinema to see some of these days, I essentially leave at showtime. So I leave the house at showtime. So by the time I get in, I'm
All the
normally
previews and
all
commercials are over.
I've seen maybe a few trailers, but by and large, I'll miss all the advertisements because I think what happened to me because like I whenever I stopped watching TV and seeing ads as much, like my brain kind of like reconditioned itself. And I was speaking to a friend about this, and I may have vocalized this in the podcast before, but it's like my brain feels like it's being assaulted now whenever I see an advertisement because just I don't know, it's the whole sort of um you need this thing in your life because if you don't have it, you'll be worse than other people. I find
Right.
that it's just so like toxic and awful. So I kind of struggle to kind of like digest them, I guess.
I
Um,
totally understand. We
you
because
know,
we got rid of cable, so we have like Netflix and we pay for all the channels individually
yeah,
because we're idiots. But the kids don't see commercials ever, so they get
yeah,
excited. They're like, "Oh, commercials, can we watch them?" And I'm like, "Ugh,
yeah.
like, why would you want to do that?" But it's then I started like, it was like a deodorant commercial, and I'm like, I just started like mumbling what they were actually saying. It's like, you smell bad. You smell like
Yep.
shit. Wear this so you don't smell bad. And Herb like, what? I'm like, they're selling you deodorant. So like, that's essentially what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I was like, you got to try and figure out what the underlying message is to these. But it's like the way that it's like, buy this thing. It's like the tone is different. They want to grab your attention. They make it annoying so that you have to look,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And that the psychology behind that pisses me the fuck off.
100%. I think, and I think we even talked about in our sales episode before, where I'm like, they I think it was in the 60s or 70s, they realized that like miserable people or people who like feel less are more likely to buy more. And like my feeling in that was collectively everybody should have said, well, we all have to agree that we're never going to do that, right? Instead, what happened was they turbocharged right into that, and like that's what most advertising is. I I do have a big problem with that, but like what stuff that I really hate, and like Christmas is such a good example of it, is the whole sort of stuff that preys on like sentimentality or like it's because there's an Amazon ad on here at the minute, and it's like a guy and the song is playing is What the World Needs Now is Love Sweet Love, and it's a guy who's a janitor, right? And he opens the door of his locker and there's a picture of him in like a suit singing in front of an audience, and like he's singing the song and all the other people um around him as their workers are like, oh, this guy's a singer and all this. So they're in Amazon buying him like a suit and like a microphone, and like at the end they put him up on stage singing a song, and I'm like, this is it's awful. It's awful. The level of manipulation here is kind of off the charts.
Yeah. I just looked at Amazon while you were saying that. It's like all I clicked on home and it's like Black Friday, Black Friday. I'm curious to see if they're advertising. And then so I'm also like, it's interesting because I'm wondering if at a certain point Amazon Prime will be more of like a draw than Black Friday.
That's a good question. I
Like I
don't.
was at the dentist and they were like, "Oh, you should get a water pick. Wait until Prime Day and you can get it for like
Yeah.
30% off or something." And so it's like Amazon doesn't even need Black Friday at this
No.
point.
No, absolutely not. But I guess I know that they can like you know. I mean, any of those sorts of things, they absolutely have to like march to the beat of that drum because they know that people will be lining up to buy more things off them. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just looked at the front page myself, and I mean, like I had been looking through stuff there earlier, and it is just Black Friday, and deals, 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 and it's also like deals based on things that you've looked at in the past while, blah blah blah. It's really kind of targeted. Oh, monsters.
Oh, monsters. Um, yeah, so like I think, retail in general, it's like even when it's so full of garbage, literally, like for
Yeah,
like that go in landfills and in the ocean. And it's like, but it's like when I need some black t-shirts or whatever. You go to the store, like, and you see all the shirts hanging on hangers. I've worked in retail, so I know that every single one of those shirts came in a plastic bag
Mm-hmm.
and they came in a box. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like the amount of boxes and plastic bags that, all of these retailers use is insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Or you'll get stuff shipped to you from a company and that'll be in the plastic bag that's labeled and it's like everything is in a bag, in a bag, in a bag. And
Yeah.
don't, I don't know if I understand why, but like the I will say I think that we don't get deals anymore because when you're in that environment, you buy things that you wouldn't have bought,
Yes.
but you're like, I'm here, so I should probably like get it. It's a good deal.
Yeah.
So I think the amount of shit that we're purchasing is definitely increased.
Yeah.
Um, Not relative to the amount of shit that we actually need.
Oh yeah.
And like obviously there's the environmental aspect of that, but there's also the social aspect of that where at least in America, we buy so much shit from other countries.
Yeah.
So like the poverty cycle around that and people getting paid very little for the things that we're buying. And that is, keeps that cycle going. So it's just like in general, um, I guess I wish people would look at this a little bit more. And maybe I've told you this, but I actually um actively try not to buy anything or spend money on Black Friday.
Good for you.
Yeah. And I didn't know that that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I like it's called Buy Nothing Friday and I was already doing that, but it's like the inner like hippie in me or whatever is just like
Sure.
stick it to the man. I'm not going to buy anything and I'm going to
Yeah.
hurt your bottom line. And I'll buy it. I'm saving it all to buy on Saturday or whatever. But it's like a movement where people are actually trying not to buy anything at all
I kind of
or
hope
spend
that
money.
I love that idea conceptually, but I kind of also hope that the buy nothing movement has merchandise for sale. It's the
Um,
ultimate
and if not,
irony.
we should make it
Yeah,
ourselves, Andy
let's get
Young.
on to that right now. Yeah, like I no, that I think that's great, and it's it's commendable, and I will bet there are guys in rooms in places sitting around a table going, how do we get the buy nothing people to start buying stuff on Black Friday? Do you know what I mean? Like the advertisers that are working to make that happen.
Okay,
Um,
I'm looking to see if I can get a deal on the Buy Nothing t-shirts on Black Friday.
do it. Let's go. Get in there fast. And I feel like this is a joke that was done for something else, but I can't think what I'm pulling it from. I don't know. But yeah, it's like there's no Bill Hicks joke. This is not what I'm thinking
Oh,
of,
I
where he
love
talks
Bill
about like
Hicks.
the recluse club or whatever, having a meeting and nobody else is there. Um, anyway, um, yeah, I think that. I mean, like I use it as an opportunity, I guess, to I struggle sometimes to pinpoint ideas for people for Christmas gifts, and I
Mhm.
find like scrolling through like list of things that are on offer. It's at least it is maybe it is a curated list, maybe curated for the wrong reasons, but curated in terms of what's cheap, and I can sometimes find inspiration for that, and or inspiration like a jumping off point from that.
Who do you buy for?
I buy for family and I buy for a few friends who like I've got a few friends who like I we've always kind of bought for each other and I don't think that'll change. I don't mind it too much because it tends to be like stuff. So like I have a friend and we're both really into comic books, so we tend to buy each other comic books and I fucking love that. Give me new comic books all day long. I'm delighted with that. I have another friend into board games. We tend to give each other board games. I'm always happy with the board game as well. And it's nice to get something like, I mean, too much of adult. I do like a nice gift. And and I also, because I find Christmas fairly depressing, I do kind of like to get something fun as well, because all too often as an adult, it's like, here's a pair of socks, and you're like, oh, hooray. It's the fucking woohoo. I mean, I need socks and everything, but it's like, this is not, this just makes a depressing day even more depressing. So yeah, but I also like what I just I'm not doing it this year because she's like in the midst of a move, but I will often send my Japanese friend a gift box, and what's fun is just getting like a load of like Japanese stuff, and she gets a load of stuff from the UK. So that's kind of there's a bit of novelty there, you know. So yeah, but not many people.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, fleeing the
Yeah.
country for 3 weeks to a month made that easy. This is our first year that we're here.
Hmm.
We're not leaving. I and my in-laws are coming, so we're doing the whole like real Christmas thing because it would just be like, the kids would go and we'd all like they'd get something for either Mike or me and
Hmm.
then a thing for each other. And then Santa would bring them two presents each, and that was it. And we'd like go and it wasn't like anything, and then we just go about our normal day.
Like it.
Um, but we're doing, yeah, the whole tree and the stockings, and so I have to buy for people, and I'm a little annoyed.
Yeah, I understand that completely. It's a grand task. And it's also kind of like if I am like in if I'm I can be quite a good gift buyer, I think.
You are
But
really good at buying gifts,
yes, and
unless it has to do with wolves, but that's fine.
and then I'm the best ever gift buyer. Um, like I think because care about the people in my life and I listen to them and I know what they like and what they don't like. I think I'm pretty so like but like I'm not always in a good headspace to serve that well, but if I am, I can be quite a good gift buyer. Um, but yeah, it's just tough and it's like it's also kind of like I mean I've absolutely given gifts to people and they've been like, What the fuck?" And you're kind of like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" You know. So yeah, it's
I get gifts like that where I'm just like, I'm
thanks.
really, but I think I'm okay at buying gifts. I just don't enjoy it,
Yeah.
and like I'm really, I have people in my life that are very good gift givers and are really thoughtful, and I'm just like, wow, that was like put a lot of effort and thought into that.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just not my love language.
Yeah, I
I
hear
don't
you.
want more stuff. I don't really like I'm not a consumer of I would rather have an experience than
Yes.
like get a gift.
So, and that is something that we've started to do with my parents over the past few years because they want actually some time with my sister and I. So we just arranged to do something with them, at another time, essentially. Like we give them something in the day, but like by and large, we are just planning to have a day together in the future. And I definitely agree with that. Like, I mean, and like that even feeds into the sort of stuff that I want as well in terms of, as much as I like so much of the stuff that I enjoy, like a board game, whatever, is something that I can do with friends. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like it's something that will give me experiences in the future.
yeah. I'm just annoyed.
Yeah. About having to do gifts.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
this concept that that I have to spend money and it's like because of this not arbitrary holiday, but kind of is, right?
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah.
And that so much is built around spending money that you don't have on things that people don't need.
Yeah.
And I even have kids, dude, and like so like the fun and the magic is built in there and I'm still like struggling.
Because like that's what I said to you as well whenever I was over for Charlie's birthday, and it was like I loved watching him as open his gifts. It was very exciting. It was like this is the best, most birthday-ish I felt in years.
Yeah.
Um, So like I think there's something magical about that for sure. But it's hard not to whenever you grow old, like really see the pattern of like, okay, we're in the Halloween phase, now we're in the Christmas phase. After that, we're going to be gearing up for Valentine's Day. Then Easter's going to be coming up, and also there may be other bridging things in there, but it's just basically okay, how do we sell things to people? Okay, what selling season is this?
Yeah. And I think a lot of it, like the basis of it, is based on religion,
Yeah.
and but then it turned into something else, right? And um, that's the hard. I just think it's like a way to keep us busy when it's dark out.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Keep us
So
distracted.
yeah,
And
from our seasonal depression disorder.
yeah. Yeah. Thanks. If we could just give us these very, very brief dopamine hits that last 5 seconds, and then you're just chasing that again and again. And it's like, okay, well, I've got those dopamine hits. I've had several of them. I'm now severely in debt. Hooray. I
Yeah.
guess.
Do you want something equally sad?
Yeah,
So the
exactly.
Guard
Yeah.
the Guardian revealed that in 2017, a diesel truck left an Amazon fulfillment center every 93 seconds at peak Black
Yikes.
Friday delivery times.
Ah,
93 seconds. Go,
that sucks. Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, good, oh, Amazon.
And
Oh, Amazon.
did I tell you this? We live by a distribution center.
Uh-huh.
It's like 20 minutes that way. So it's like, you drive by it and it's like all the vehicles are all Amazon vehicles. Now they're
Yep.
e-vehicles.
Yep.
And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I wonder how how far they're gonna take it. Have you heard that they want to start delivering stuff with like,
Drones.
yeah,
Yeah. I think they
and
will. Wh-
it's gonna be like in the Mockingbird movies. What is it? What are those? The
Oh,
Hunger Games, where
yeah.
all the little packages are gonna come by like, it's like the stork leaving a baby in your hands, except for
Yep.
it's a microwave.
And like what's so interesting to me is that I think about films and other sort of, media, and it's very much in the sort of like dystopian future type things. It's like these corporations, so like Blade Runner is a good example of this, that are essentially running things. And it's kind of like, oh, what a nightmare. And we're like sliding towards it. We absolutely are. And it seems like there's nothing that can be done to really stop it.
It's like
It's,
idiocracy.
yes, very much so. I was talking about that recently. I was saying that Trump maybe just needs to completely embrace that and start like firing a machine gun into the air at like his rallies and stuff like that.
It's funny. He said something along the lines of like, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue
Yeah.
and no one would do anything.
Yeah.
And I was just on Fifth Avenue and I was like, you totally could.
Uh-huh.
No one would do anything.
Yeah.
No one
It's a
would do
pretty some
anything.
people to shake his hand. Like,
Yeah.
I think The Boys was a really good because they kind of played with that a little bit, and like one of the characters essentially lasered somebody in the brain in the street, kind of got away with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, ain't the world
Dystopian
fun?
future. I know. It's like, well, and it is not. It is not. It's like a little
It's
scary.
not. It
A little
is.
scary.
It is. It is. It is. But
And I'm
like,
like, this is the first time I'm gonna experience this in like 7, 6 years.
okay,
And then the
Godspeed.
other, but it's like, I know, but like the last time we did Christmas at home was during COVID. So that
Yeah.
didn't count. That doesn't
No.
count.
Um, good luck. What's nice, like, and I really have to say, with Christmas, I've really went through like I've went through times when I have really genuinely enjoyed the season. Like I am in a dark period these days, but like it has risen and fall. It has seen a rise and a fall, and I still love the lead up to Christmas. Like my weekends are packed, and I'm doing things with friends that I'm really excited for. So like that I'm really looking forward to, and I also have a trip after. So there are good things coming, but it's
You
just
told me, but I forgot. We
oh,
haven't talked. What are
I
you
go to
doing?
Scotland.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
same thing I did last year.
Yeah. Yep. 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 You just told me that.
So yeah.
Yeah. My mom was like, would you ever go to Scotland? And I was like, yeah,
Was she thinking about it?
probably. Well, she went like the week before I came and saw you.
Oh yes.
So
Okay, I
she
remember
liked
you.
it and she was like, would you ever go? And I'm like, I mean, I'm sure Andy would take me.
Absolutely. Freaking love
Hmm.
Scotland.
Hmm.
Yeah, rules over there. I think you'd love it. Like it's very similar to Northern Ireland, I think, in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's cool. I love it. And a lot of we have listeners from Scotland.
Hmm.
Hi folks. Um,
Hey,
so yeah, it rules up there.
I love Ben and Donner.
Um, okay, do we have anything else? I like should we leave them with like a happy note? I mean, like as much as like I am, depression, and I'll, find the depressive aspects of it, of anything. I also, as much as I like, I think why I'm not completely insane is that I do genuinely, love people in this world, and like, and even though the season, and I'm talking about Black Friday, the whole lead up to Christmas can be tough. Like I was saying, the events that I have planned with the people that I love are what makes it special. Whether we're spending money or not. So like, those are the things that kind of give me hope.
You're so
And
sweet that you want to end this on a kind, happy note.
yeah, I just
And I'm like, humanity is doomed.
I mean, that's what I say. That's what I not so secretly think. But I also was like, but yeah. So let's rewind that. Let's not let the humanity is doomed thing. Let's think about it, the friends in our lives.
It's right. But I guess, it's like it's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is.
Um, I think if we do it right, buy the thing, don't buy all the things, buy a few.
Yeah.
Remember the 5 R's: reuse, rewear, recycle, repair, and resell.
Yes.
Uh,
I like it.
uh, I know. But focus on the people in your
Yes.
lives, focus on the experiences that you're having, and then the rest will come. Or
Always.
you could always just not spend money on Black Friday
Yeah. But I
and wait
mean,
until Cyber Monday.
Saber Monday. That's next week's episode.
That's right.
All right, all right, all right. Okay. So I think time to move on to um our favorite section. We're gonna end on a happy note because we're talking about what's been bringing us joy over the past week. So Beth,
I
what's
went
been
and saw Wicked.
nice?
Yeah, I saw it on Broadway
Uh-huh.
probably 15 years ago. So
Uh-huh.
it wasn't the original cast.
Okay.
But it was like you know, it was amazing. And like the people that were playing the roles have gone on to do a lot of movie work.
Uh-huh.
Um, I didn't like it as much as I liked the Broadway show.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's only half of the Broadway show, correct?
It's like it was a 2 hour and 40-minute movie, so I
Jeez.
don't it's like there's still more story, but not that much. So I don't know how they're gonna or how,
Yeah.
yeah. I kind of like I would have made some different like casting choices.
Mm-hmm.
It did bring me
Ooh.
joy.
Who
But yeah,
who would you get out of there?
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of
Like,
people are not crazy
yeah,
about
I
her. Yeah.
like it's just like she doesn't play it funny.
Yeah.
I mean, she tries, but it's like the Broadway, like the way I guess like it doesn't really translate as well to the screen as I thought it would.
Okay.
And then I was like, maybe it's because of who the cast. And then I was like, maybe you're right, Beth, because you're always right. So anyways, it was fun. It was great. It was fun. It was cute to see the kids like super excited about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then Charlie was like, I'm bored. And Harper was like, I'm so emotional. So it was like all the things.
The gamut of emotions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to see it tomorrow night, so
I just love, yeah, I love going to the movies.
me too.
And like I love the previews and I will watch the commercials and I will sit there for all of it. Um and like, do you guys have AMC?
I know, but I'm aware of what it is.
Okay, so there's this like commercial for AMC theaters that Nicole Kidman does, and she's wearing like
Yes.
this suit. So yeah, so like they're still playing that. And it's like I
Wow.
do like I'll watch a preview or like something will happen and I'm just like I'll turn to Harper and be like, "Do you feel that?" And she's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "That's why we come to the movies."
Yes,
So
I
that's
hear
why we
you.
spent $70 to see Wicked at the theaters.
I completely agree. And like, I honestly like even that movie I was talking about at the start of the episode, The Raid,
Mhm.
seeing it like in a room full of people and then reacting to that movie was like, I love this shit. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, so I'm gonna say it tomorrow, so I'll be, and this will be my first experience with Wicked. I understand vaguely what the story is, but I don't. So it'll be interesting to see what I make of it.
Mhm.
Um, I did. This isn't what's bringing me joy, but I want to talk about it. I did see Gladiator 2. Uh,
Okay.
um,
And
so, uh, so
that's
like,
what I
okay,
really wanted to see, but
So I there's a one of the podcasts I listen to, bang on about it all the time, talks about movies having rocks in their brains. That movie has rocks for brains. It's ludicrous. It's like really stupid and like just character motivations and all this sorts of shit. And like it's all over the fucking map. But the action scenes are great. So like I that's what I went, and I think I came out of it quite vaguely positive because I enjoyed the action scenes. Denzel was great.
I heard he
Uh,
was amazing.
Paul Mescal has a thankless task of basically doing essentially a what do you call him, Russell Crowe impression. So
Hmm.
like I kind of feel bad for him a little bit. He's fine, but he's got a shit task ahead of him, you know. But it's that movie's fine. It's just, you know, very stupid. So yeah, anyway, what has been bringing me joy, and this is kind of uh relevant. I know you hear me talking about this. I've been playing a lot of the Oregon Trail. Hmm.
Ooh.
So it's on the iPad, and
Did you get cholera?
I have had dysentery multiple times.
Yeah.
I've had several broken legs, and I don't think there's been any cholera yet. Because so basically I am the very last leg of this. So there's like five legs, and like each of these legs are broken up into like different parts. Sometimes you go like, you know,
Yeah.
cross rivers and things like that. And I've been
My
real,
oxen were always drowned by the river.
yeah.
Stupid
This
oxen.
slightly more forgiving this time around, but it's still like brutal, you know. But I'm cautiously optimistic I'm going to make it through to the end, which is my first complete run. But it's good. So like in this modern version, because we were talking about it earlier, they have tried to be more sympathetic to like the plight of Native Americans and things like that, and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of those sorts of storylines folded in. Um, but it's good. It's I'm really quite enjoying it, and like just as something that is, you know, compared to the standard kind of video games I play, it's really kind of quite sedate and nice and easy to pick up and do like a few sections and kind of, and also I just kind of love managing all my guys' sorts of, you know, health, their mental state and things like that. So like multiple of my guys have been forlorn, which I guess is depressed, right? Multiple have, I've had an entire party of people being depressed. And I'm like, oh no, they're gonna have a fight soon. But yeah, so that's been fun. But yeah, I've been
That's
enjoying that a
good.
lot.
Yeah, I love me some Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
That was like in school, that was like, okay, you finished your work, you're doing a really good job. You can go play Oregon Trail for 20 minutes on the one computer we had in the classroom. And I was like, yeah. And then your guy dies, and you're like, it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
always
Did
cholera, always
did
oxen in the river.
did you ever complete it?
Um, no.
No. Okay, interesting.
So, but I think because I saw it on Amazon and then it was gone. And then Mike was like, did you see what was on the Amazon list? And I was like, no. And then I was like, what's he talking about? And then I was like, oh no, I saw the Oregon Trail. So I think he bought it for me for Christmas
Hell yeah.
for the Nintendo Switch. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that's gonna happen
Yeah.
on Christmas.
Exciting.
I know.
Okay, I love
Maybe, yeah, he got a deal on it. I don't know. Um, it's a joke for Black Friday.
it.
I feel like Wicked wasn't joyful at all. So
Oh,
I'm gonna
really?
say no. Like I feel like I was like I saw Wicked bringing me joy, and then I was like it was not what I didn't like it. I will say New York City brought me so much fucking joy.
Good.
Just being there, being in the streets, like navigating the subway. I
Yeah.
went to the Met.
Yeah.
Uh, I saw one of my favorite paintings in the world. I just like walked in, I didn't even know they had it. It's called the Gulf Stream. It's really great.
Okay.
Uh, and just like going to see, yeah, Broadway shows are just like,
Yeah.
I miss musical theater so fucking much.
Yeah.
So I'm just like walking around singing the Book of Mormon. It was so good. It was so good. So it really did bring me a lot of joy. And um, I didn't know if I was going to talk about this or not,
Hmm.
but my mom brought some of my dad's ashes,
Oh,
and so I
nice.
we put some of my dad went off the Staten Island ferry, and
Awesome.
some of my dad is now up in the cloisters in a museum.
I love it. That's
I
great.
broke the law twice.
Yeah. I love
And now
it.
I have some of them. My mom gave me some of his ashes, so I have some of them here. So
That's
it was
lovely.
nice. Yeah, it did bring me joy
That's
and
good.
sorrow, but those two things can live together. So
They often do. They often do. I love that.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Um, It's a nice way to end things, I think. Um, so Beth, would you like to tell everybody where they can find us and
Yeah,
things
we're
like
gonna have a
that?
Black Friday sale on our merch. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding. Don't spend money on Friday. But you can find us at bendypodcast.com. If you want to do something awesome and nice and that doesn't cost money, just leave us a review. That would be
yeah.
amazing.
Subscribe, all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
We love it. All
It's
right, folks.
free.
It is free, right? Give a gift to yourself.
Right.
And also maybe if you have like somebody else's phone in your hand, just
Uh-huh.
subscribe them to the podcast as well. Give
You
them a little
should.
gift
You
too,
should.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your mom and dad.
Yeah.
Take their phones.
Yeah, yeah. All right, awesome. Okay, folks. In that case, as always, we'd like to remind you to
Stay
stay bend.
bendy.
That's a good one.
I know.
Done one in a while.
I feel
Nice.
like we need to like make a musical theater ending.
All right, we'll plan that. It'll be a secret. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Love you.
All
Bye
right.
bye.